Day 13 of my 3D print shop remodel. So what's on the agenda for today? Stay tuned, watch, and I'll show you. Welcome to 3D Accuracy, where I'll talk about 3D printing, 3D product design, and 3D injection and die-cast mold design. Today we're doing more cement patching. I've got to mix up some cement and we're going to attempt to finish this entire border around the shop today, all the way down the back wall, down the side wall, and then I've got one spot to do in front on the other side of these 3D printers, and in the corner by the big machine I've got a spot up there I need to do. But I'm going to do those last because I have to open the doors to get to it, and I don't want to let the heat in until maybe the end of the day when I'm done and just do this. See, I've got to get back in this corner here and I've got to patch that up, and so of course the doors need to open, and the same on this side. I need to patch that up down in there, and I've got the same thing down in the corner over there. So that'll be last. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix up some cement and I'm going to start patching in this crack and refacing this. You can see there's a crack along the edge, and I'm just patching that over so that it's, you know, I don't have a place where insects can live and breed and all that kind of stuff. I want to close that up and then paint it. I'll bring the vinyl flooring up to the edge, or as close as they recommend. I don't know if it needs a little expansion, so it'll be a, you know, 1/8 of an inch or 1/4 of an inch away or whatever. I got to find out when I get to that point. And then I want to seal up this crack and redo this surface so it's a little cleaner, smoother for painting. So that's what's going on, and if I can finish that and I still have time, then I'll get into sealing some of these cracks and filling the expansion joints, get the sand in here to fill up that deep gap, you know, so I'll move on to those sort of things, but I'll see how the day goes, you know, one step at a time. So I'll take some videos intermittently because I can't hold the camera and shoot video and lay cement at the same time. It's just too cumbersome. And so I'll just do a little and then show you what it looks like and then do some more and that sort of thing. Unless my lovely wife can come out, and if she has time to take a little video, then I'll show you exactly how I'm doing it. Like I've said before, I'm not an expert at doing this cement work. This is something I do every once in a while when I've got a project. I get out the cement and the trowel and I do a little something. But if you really want to know about how to do these things correctly, check out other videos. You know, the guys that are doing this for a living, they know much more than I do. They know much more. So get advice from an expert. Have enjoyment from a novice. You know, you get to enjoy watching me do this sort of thing and see how it turns out, but not necessarily to be emulated. Okay, so let's get to work. All right, here we go. Made some progress. Let me show you. Okay, what I was able to do was to go from over here where I finished from the other day, and I made it, roughly 10 feet or so, and that took me more of this cement than I thought I was going to use. When I bought this bucket, I thought, I maybe have enough to do the whole shop, but obviously that's not going to happen because I got about 25% of the bucket left there, and I was about halfway full before I started along the wall here. And between what I've done here and what I did over here and what's left in the bucket, I think I may make it just about to that corner somewhere, give or take, you know, a few 6 inches or so in either direction. So I'm going to finish that out, and then I'm out of cement. I do have a couple of 60-pound bags of All-Crete outside, and I'm going to bring that in and try that so I don't have to run to Lowe's and buy more cement. I don't want to have to do that. So I'm going to mix up a little bit of that and see if that can be used for doing this patch kind of repair that I'm doing. You know, I don't know if it's good for that or not, but I'm going to give it a try and see what happens. And the other thing that I did, let me show you. is when I mixed up the first batch of concrete a little while ago before lunch, I also thinned it out quite a bit while I was mixing it, and I put a little bit more along the edge of this repair that I did here, because if you remember from a video or so ago, I had it relatively thick so that when I was raising this low spot, it wouldn't run into the crack. And, you know, I was looking to level the floor. Well, it made it very difficult to get a good edge along this end here, along this edge. It didn't feather out nicely. There was a little bit of a step to it. So I mixed it a little thin, and then filled this in, and that did the trick. It was much, much nicer. So I can feel already that it's a little bit better. There's not so much of a little bitty bump there. Not that it would have mattered, because I'm not going to be walking around on this floor barefoot or anything after I put the peel and stick tile floor down, so I'm not going to feel any little imperfections like that. It's not like it's in the house. You know, being in a shop is a different situation, and it's never going to get a lot of traffic, in the sense that I'm not going to be driving on it. You know, once the peel and stick floor is down, all the planks are down, it shouldn't go anywhere anyway. So I think it'll work out fine. That's where we're at so far. I'm going to mix up another batch of the concrete now. I'm going to use the last of what's in this bucket and get rid of that, and see how far I can get with it, and then go from there. Then I'll try some Quikrete, mix that up, and see if we can finish the rest of it today. Okay, back to it, back to work. Well, I've used up the second batch of the All-Crete, and it's gone. The bucket is empty. So I went outside and I checked the bag of Quikrete that I have, the 60-pound bag, and in the instructions it said for minimum thickness of 2 inches, which is not what I've got going on here. It's much thinner than that. And so I've got to run over to Lowe's or Home Depot or wherever and get some more of this Quikrete, also made by Quick. What the hell's the name? I'll show you the. I'll show you the bucket. How's that? Here's the stuff I was using: the Fast Set All-Crete high performance cement, and this is also made by Quikrete, it says. So the same as the cement I have outside, same company, but just different application. So this is how far I got. You see, I got all the way to well, let's see, I ended with the first batch, I ended about there, and then the second batch took me all the way over, a little bit farther than I thought I'd get, so that's good. And what I did was I pasted off, you know, how many steps did I take in along with this here, to get an idea of, you know, how much area it would cover, how many linear feet it would cover. And then I walked off what I have left to do the same way. I just said, how many paces is this? And I've got this rest of the back and down this side, a touch up in the front in the corner, and then I've got a spot over here on this wall between the two doors. And so I pasted off, and it's close. I might be able to make it with one more bucket of this All-Crete. So I'm gonna go get one and see how far it gets me, and then I'll decide whether I want to buy more or not, because I have no use for this stuff after I finish this project. And I've got, you know, if I got almost a full bucket sitting around, it's just taking up space in the shop, and I don't have a use for it right now, so I don't want to buy too much. I'd like to just about finish it and then be done with it. So we'll give that a shot. We'll get one more bucket, and then we'll see if I can't finish this yet today. It's already going, what, about 3:30, so by the time I get there and back, an hour, maybe a little more, and then we'll see how it goes. We'll just take one step at a time. It's actually the next day. I got another bucket of the Quikrete yesterday late afternoon. Got back here and went back at it with putting the concrete cleaning up the border around the shop, and let me show you how it turned out. You can see here I finished all the way to about here yesterday with the first batch that I had, and then I went and got another bucket, and I was able to finish the rest of it. All of this, all the way down the side of the shop, and all the way into the corner in the front. I got all that done. And over here, this little section in the front that I had to do yet. I got this in here done also. But you know, something strange. This is out of the same bucket in two different batches that I mixed. And I'm like, why is this so much darker than that? It's like, I have no idea, because I mixed this and used this and then turned around and mixed a little bit more to finish out this section, the rest of it, and it was darker like that. So I don't know why that happened. I have absolutely no idea. And it did the same over here. You know, it's lighter here, and then, well, strangely enough, now I mixed this batch, and that's where I started. I started there, and by the time I got here, the color had changed, but I had to keep adding water to thin it out, because it was wanting to set up so quickly in the bucket because of the heat, and that may have something to do with it, because then I mixed another bucket here, you know, mixed another small batch, and I started out, and then as I got here, I had to add more water, so it may have something to do with that, and I finished that up last, and then once I finished there, the little bit that I had, I did over in that spot, and then mixed a fresh batch in the bucket I was using. So it could have something to do with the amount of water mixed into the batch affects the color. Not sure. Anyway, it turned out good, and I'm happy with it. It looks good, just what I need. Now I can move on to the next part of the process, which is filling all the cracks in the floor and filling in the expansion joints. So I hope you really enjoyed this video. If you're ever in need of 3D product design, 3D injection mold design, 3D die-cast mold design, or 3D printed prototypes or production parts, please feel free to contact me. You can find contact information in the video description. I look forward to hearing from you and to being of service to you. Thank you for watching. As always, I appreciate it. See you on 3D Accuracy's next video.